It's another good time to represent you the typological topic concerning the cultural ecology and anthropology on the Black African people's communication development. While at this library and research room, we will bring you an article related to the translation of some of the priestly drawings that Black people of the African continent in the past used in communication of their activities, especially the ritual activities. This priestly tradition, after passing of the Noah's flood, the Black people of the African continent emerged with the relevant ritual tradition from Babylon in the year 2247 BC and enter with it into this African continent. The Black people of Africa developed this priestly tradition by worshipping the spirits of their ancestors, whom they considered to be the spirits of the gods who guided their daily lives. For example, in Tanzania, to this day, we can still witness some of the tribes that in the past used the names of their ancient ancestors to mean the name of the god. And among those tribes is the Sukuma tribe, who used the name of King Seba, son of Cush, who ruled over the north and northwest of the African continent to mean the name of the god. These Sukuma people are usually found in the country of Tanzania, around these areas, around the Nyanza Victoria, the area which was formerly called Nyanza Victoria, today is the region of Mwanza. These people are found around these areas here in this country of Tanzania. Thus, if you read in the book of Genesis at chapter 10 in verse 6, you will find information about this history of the origin of King Seba, who is the origin of many tribes of the African continent, including the tribe of the Sukuma and the Nyamwezi people found in Tanzania. So then when the people of this generation were scattered from Babylon and spread to the different parts of the world in the year 2247 BC, those people were scattered with a similar culture, where we can look at some of the priestly activities that from the year 1300 BC could be done by the Israelites in the wilderness of Sinai, where some animals and humans could be associated. There in the wilderness, the animals could be associated with the priestly activities as a worship to God. So if you read in the book of Leviticus chapter 16 and verses 3, verse 5 and verse 21, the text then says, Aaron, he shall go into the sanctuary with these things, a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. And he shall take off the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over it all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all their transgressions, even all their sins. And he shall put the goat upon his head, and lead him away into the wilderness. After the priest had laid his 2 hands on the head of the goat, then the God was led into the wilderness by the hand of a man that was ready. And that's why the scripture says, and he shall put the goat upon his head. He shall put the goat upon his head, and led him away into the wilderness by the hand of a man who is ready. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities. The iniquities were then bared by the goat, through the act of the priest to lay his two hands upon the head of this goat. It means he was making the goat to bear all the iniquities of the people and all integrations. So the scripture says, and the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let the goat in the wilderness. Therefore, sometimes a question may arise that, why has it always been the case that all generations of human beings living in different continents of the world have had the same culture as in matters of ritual? The most obvious answer, however, is that all generations of human beings in the world have had the same traditions regarding the rituals of being, because immediately after the passing of the Noah flood on the year 15th, on the year 2348 BC, the world was left with a total population of only 8 people. So these 8 people were able to perform the ritual, which was a continuation of the rituals which in the year 3875 BC were performed by 2 brothers, namely Cain and Abel. So continuing of these years is according to the chronological order of the human generation in the Bible, and as the reckoning of those years was done according to the description in Smith's largest and oldest dictionary of the Bible. So if you read in Genesis chapter 4 in verses 1 to 5, and in chapter 8 in verses 20 to 21, you will see the story in connection with the rituals performed by the descendants of these ancient humans. Thus, even after the passing of the events of Noah's flood and the division of the continents and the language of the ancient human race in Babylon in the year 2247 BC, these people were scattered again in the world with a similar culture in ritual matters. Thus, in order to find the unquestionable truth about the origin of the dynasty culture of the human race on the earth, the human race concerned must first be put in the first same origin. And this is why, to this day, many of the black cultures of the African continent are so similar to many cultures of the people of the Middle East that the proximity of the settlements of these people communities helped greatly in facilitating cultural interaction in faith, tradition, and ideology. And this is why, in finding the true history of the black man of the African continent, you can never separate that history from the history of the people of Egypt and the Middle East as a whole. You cannot separate them because they emerge from the same origin. So if they emerge from the same origin, how can we then separate them? How can we separate the origin of their history? That is something really very impossible. So, and this is one of the reasons that even in interpreting various cultural symbols and texts, translators must take into account this fundamental principle of having a well-balanced basic social science. The basic social science that focuses on the religious, traditional, and ideological values of the related societies. Fundamental principles that are the source of the social science from the relevant societies. But if we have a science that ignores the basis of this belief, tradition, and social ideology, that science can never discover the real history of the real cultures of our ancient people. And if you read in the Numbers, in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, in verse 1 there, and in the book of Leviticus, at chapter 16, in verses 20 to 22, you will find that in the generations of ancient men, animals and humans were responsible for the consequences of all ritual activities, the outcome that will be emerged from the ritual activities that were performed by the priests. So these both animals and human beings were all responsible for the consequences of those all ritual activities. It is very clear that we cannot separate the cultural history of the black people of the African continent and the people of the Middle East, because as many black people from many countries in modern Africa used to service in the reign of King Kush-Rishathaim, who was a king established in Mesopotamia by the Kushite kingdoms of the Rama tribe, the Seba of the northern and northeastern kingdoms, and the Sheba of the empire of the southern parts of the African continent, in protection of their economic and political interests. During the years between 1458 BC and 1450 BC, many Israelites served the reign of Kush-Rishathaim for 8 years until they were rescued by Othniel, the leader of Israel, who defeated and put an end to the reign of Kush-Rishathaim in Mesopotamia, as it is written in the history in the book of Judges at chapter 3 from verse 7 to 11. It was during the reign of King Saul that the Kushites, meaning the black people of the African continent, in Mesopotamia, meaning Syria, had established empires which were known as the Suba or Zoba kingdoms, which were made of black people from the area formerly known as the Victoria Nyanza in the countries of what is today Kenya and Tanzania. Kingdoms that at different times were ruled by the Kush-Rishathaim and Hadadezer. You can now see how these people from the East Africa, in the African continent, have interactions with the people of the Middle East, the Suba people from this area which was formerly called the Victoria Nyanza here. These people, in Swahili we call them Wasuba, but in English, the Zoba people. These Wasuba travel from this area, from the Victoria Nyanza area here, around Lake Victoria. They traveled along River Nile, White River Nile, to the country of Egypt and the Middle East at large. They went there for various social activities, including participating in wars, going there for ritual activities, and so many social activities that made them to interact. Thus, by the year 1023 BC, many Kushites, meaning black African people, had been used in the Israelites' armies, mainly due to the fact that since the year 1300 BC, the prophet Moses had married Zipporah, the daughter of Reuel, the Cushite, and established a brotherhood between the Cushites and the Israelites. In ancient Israel and in the Cushite, meaning in the black African people of the African continent, when a slave was bought in slavery, the child born to that slave was considered to be the property of the master who had bought the slave. Similarly, Although Zipporah was the daughter of Reuel, she was recognized as the daughter of Jethro, who was a priest of Midian. You can get this full story in the book of Exodus chapter 2 from verse 16 to 22, and in chapter 18 from verse 1 to 2, and in the book of Numbers chapter 12 at verse 1. Thus, even with the mention of Queen Candace of the Ethiopian eunuch, who in the 1st century CE went to worship in Israel, the pilgrimage of the caravan, no doubt accompanied by the transformation of the Egypt, was part of the prophecy of Isaiah. Since Queen Candace was described as a Cushite, linguistically it meant that the queen was involved in a whole black community whose literary identity was largely outside the borders of the African continent, and was a small part of the former Cushite country now called the country of Ethiopia. However, it shows that in the time of Jesus Christ, the northern part of the ancient Cushite country, meaning the African continent inhabited by black people, was ruled by Queen Candace, and the southern part was ruled by the southern queen, popularly known as the Queen of Sheba, as you can read in the book of Acts chapter 8 verse 27, and in the book of Matthew chapter 12 verse 43, and in the book of Luke chapter 11 at verse 31, and in the book of the First Kings at chapter 10 from verse 1 to 10, and in the book of the Second Chronicles at chapter 9 from verse 1 to 9. In Smith's Bible Dictionary on page 183, the dictionary explains that the Ethiopians derived from the word Ethiopia, meaning burning faces, and the word Cush, meaning black, are a tribal people, meaning race, from Hamites, who later became divided into different tribes. That in those different tribes, the tribe of the Sabians of the northern parts of the African continent was the most powerful kingdom. The Sabians, who in the book of Job, chapter 1 at verse 15, are told to commit cruelty to the livestock and the job servants in the Middle East. Thus, finally, at different intervals between the 2nd century BC and the 6th century BC, some of the Sabian clans migrated to the southern parts of the African continent, where there was a Shabian kingdom, and formed a group of Sabians and Shabians who were powerful, and the horrors of war as described in the book of Isaiah chapter 18 from verse 1 to 7. Therefore, there is a lot of ecological, religious, and traditional and ideological evidences that prove the fact that the ancient black culture of the African continent and the culture of the people of Egypt and the Middle East were similar in various regions. That is because these people had close relationship that enabled them to share various knowledges in matters of their beliefs, traditions, and ideologies. The account in the book of the First Kings, chapter 10, verse 4 to 7, regarding the visit of the queen of the southern African continent to the land of Israel between the year 1015 BC and in the year 975 BC shows us that the queen of the black people who lived in the southern parts of the African continent, her visit was a source of inspiration for Israelite King Solomon to marry an African girl from the southern parts of the African continent, from which the African queen also came from. The concerned African girl was a beautiful girl, just as King Solomon himself praised the girl in his poems he wrote in the book of the Birth Song in chapter 1 verses 4 to 6. Thus, with no doubt, there is undisputable ecological, religious, and traditional evidences that the Victoria Nyanza and the Great Lakes region were generally the starting points for our ancestors. It was the starting point here. The Victoria Nyanza region area here and the Great Lakes region at a whole was the starting point for our ancestral travels to Ethiopia, Egypt, and the Middle East through Nile River, White Nile River, meaning River Gihon, the holy river of the Bible, River Gihon, which is one of the rivers of the ancient Garden of Eden. The river that was its name later changed to River Nile. This White Nile River was formerly called River Gihon, Gihon of the Bible, the holy river narrated in the book of the Bible. These areas of Victoria Nyanza and the Great Lakes are narrated in the Holy Bible, having relation with the tall, soft, and frightening people from their beginning. The people whom from their reign from their beginning at the reign of King Nimrod in Babylon. The people whom from their beginning at the reign of King Solomon in Israel. The people whom from their beginning at the reign of Hadadezer in Mesopotamia. The people whom from their beginning at the reign of Cush and Rishathaim in Mesopotamia. The people whom from their beginning at the reign of Zerah the Cushite in Mesopotamia. In Mesopotamia now in current days called Syria. And during the travel at different times from parts of Victoria Nyanza and the Great Lakes at the source of the White Nile or at the headwaters of the Nile of the White Nile, the former Gihon, holy river of Gihon of the Bible, taking their prey, they travel along this river Nile, the former Gihon river, holy river. They travel along this river, carrying their prey, or sometimes going for war activities, or sometimes going to perform rituals, or to be performed rituals at Mount Zion, meaning in the country of Israel. They went through the river Nile, the former holy river Gihon. So these are narrated in the prophecies. They are told in the prophecies in the book of Isaiah chapter 18 from verse 1 to 7, and narratives in the books of Acts chapter 8 verse 27, and in the book of Matthew at chapter 12 at verse 43, in the book of Luke chapter 11 verse 31, in the book of the First Kings chapter 10 from verse 1 to 10, and in the book of the Second Chronicles at chapter 9 from verse 1 to 9. All these are narrated there. Now then,